Welcome back to Tactical and Practical. We're going to talk about the robots today. We're going to talk about AI, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm excited to chat about it on my podcast without a guest because, unlike most conversations on SAP, I don't have an AI course to sell you. I don't have a vested interest in any AI company. So this is as honest and unbiased a review as I think I can give. The only thing I do have to sell you is some freelance performance copywriting services. I usually only take on one client a month. My client for April backed out last minute, and my client for May can't start until May because he's out of inventory right now. So if anyone wants some last minute copy for April, I'll test your highest traffic landing page, guaranteed to get you a big win, and I'll give it to you for half off because this is a last minute thing. So that's it. Enough of me shilling myself. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI. The good first. For research, it is undefeated. It is such a good way to go get a lot of data and a lot of learnings quickly. When I used to, write copy for brands, for example, I would want to manually read hundreds of customer reviews myself. Then I'd want to go read a bunch of ads and emails, and I'd want to look at post-purchase surveys. I'd want to scroll Reddit to figure out what people were saying about this product to get a full picture and a deep understanding of why people are actually buying for you. I don't have to do that anymore. That process that used to, on the short end, take 8 hours now takes a few minutes with a Claude skill where I can just upload all the reviews. I can tell it to go scrape Reddit. It is so insanely helpful in summarizing and then becoming a database where you can ask questions to a lot of data like that. So the skill I have in Claude, by the way, I pretty much use Claude for everything right now. But the copywriting skill I have for Claude, I can upload all of the things I want it to learn: reviews, testimonials, post-purchase survey stuff, all that. It is prompted to then summarize everything and spit out what's important to me. But then I can also just ask it questions. And that's such a helpful thing to be like, oh, hey, I saw that, you're pulling out a lot of this kind of sentiment from customers. Does that mean they feel like this or that, etc.? And can give me really great answers on it. So that's probably the thing I think AI is best at right now, is deep research and then putting it into bite-sized chunks that we can understand quickly without having to go spend 10 hours reading. On the back of that, the next thing it's good at, and I say good at with an asterisk because it's copywriting. I actually don't think it writes great copy. I think it's so good at helping me write copy. If you ever have writer's block, if you ever have no clue what to say, it'll get you to first base. It'll get something on the page that then you can start to tweak and edit. And if you do it right, where you upload, all the customer reviews, all your past best performing headlines and copy, then it can get it pretty close. I'm still undefeated against Claude in, headline split tests. But it has made me be able to write so much more, so much quicker, especially when it comes to long form copy. We have some long form, LPs and advertorials that if I wrote them by hand would take forever, but I can tell Claude, hey, go write a very lengthy 10 reasons why page. Then it takes me 45 minutes to edit it, but that's way better than it taking me, 4 hours to write it. So copywriting has been a huge help. The next thing I'll say it's great at is data synthesis and analysis. We have a lot of complex offers that we're testing right now, and when we split test them, sometimes the results are hey, conversion rate is down 20%, but subscription rate is up 15%. And it would take me a long time in a spreadsheet to figure out all right, is that good for the business long term or not? Am I willing to sacrifice that conversion rate so we acquire less customers, but way more of them are subscription customers, which we know are more valuable to us. So this kind of like data modeling task that I've had to do a few times has been incredibly helpful. We have Claude connected to our IntelliGem, so I can tell it like, hey, go analyze the results of this test, and then tell me if we were to roll this out, what would be the impact on our CAC and our AOV on day one? What would be the impact of our 3-month LTV to CAC? What would be the impact on our 12-month, lifetime profit metric? Um, Again, like math that would take me so long, and I'd be liable to make mistakes on it. Is now being done very quickly, and can get me a concise answer because I can tell it like, hey, the only thing I care about is lifetime profit of every customer. So go tell me in this kind of like mixed scenario what is going to produce more bottom line dollars. It's really good at that. The last couple things that I think AI is really good at right now is task management and kind of like communication. Claude is tasking out my team in Asana. It's really helpful. I don't like tedious things like going to type everything out in Asana, so that's been great. And then communication as well. We are using Claude internally where I can essentially teach the core Claude brain things about our business, things about our customers, the results of split tests, marketing angles that worked or didn't. And it remembers them. So then when someone else opens up their Claude within our company to go write an email, it already has, our updated active messaging guideline. So it is pulling the most up-to-date, most recent things, and being able to like disseminate that information to the team in a way where like it's not going to get lost or missed, because if they're using Claude to do it, Claude already knows it. Has been really, really nice. I need to get a little bit better at teaching Claude more things to make sure that it gets incorporated into the skill. But really powerful tool. So that's it. That's what I think AI is great at right now. There's other people who have found awesome uses for it. But for me, like those are the 5 or 6 things that I think it does really, really well. Now, the bad. Let's talk about the bad before we get to the ugly. The bad is like it's not always intelligent. I hate that we call it artificial intelligence. It's like it's not intelligence, it's information. And it just there just seems to be some dots that it can't connect. When we connected it to our meta ads manager, the first thing it told me was like, hey, this prospecting spend is really efficient. We should cut back on prospecting and we should put all the budget on our retargeting campaign. And it's like, oh, okay, you don't understand how advertising works at all. You don't understand. The only reason why the retargeting campaign works is because we're spending the vast majority of our budget on the prospecting. So there's just been a couple of things like that where like it just doesn't get it. The other thing it told us was like it told us that our most profitable month was a month where we had some major outages on our meta ads account. So we like barely spent money on ads. So like it was all just returning customer revenue, which is super profitable. And it's like, hey, like that month was the best month ever. Do that again. When it's like, hold on, we can't just cut all ad spend and take profits for a month every single month, and assume we're going to grow or assume we're going to be okay in the future. So that's, I'd say, like the bad is like sometimes like very simple business concepts. You just have to teach it. You just have to tell it like, hey, no. You have like a first grade understanding of this, and I need you to get up to like at least sophomore in high school level if you want to help me. So that's the bad. It just doesn't always connect the dots. It doesn't always understand like how different things affect the outcomes. It can kind of just look at the outcomes and like make assumptions from there, which aren't always right. Now, getting on to the ugly. It's wrong sometimes. And maybe even scarier, it's confidently wrong sometimes. even with math, even with objective data. There have been times where like I've asked it to do a math problem for me, and it gave me an answer, and I didn't think the answer was right, and I did the classic like, "Hey, are you sure?" And it said, "Hey, you're right. Good catch. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I didn't factor this in. Here's the new right answer." And that is terrifying to me, because that's a case where like I can prove it wrong quickly if I wanted to. I could, break out a calculator or a spreadsheet and figure it out. But it's really scary to me that sometimes it presents information so confidently that is objectively wrong, false, or misleading. Um, I think it's like a huge, huge issue that whoever is making these tools needs to address. They should be 1,000,000% optimized for truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it doesn't seem like they're being built that way, which is really scary and frustrating. So if you are using this to do any kind of financial stuff, inventory planning, really anything, I have built in, prompts to be like, "Hey, are you sure? Double check that. Do that again. Have you factored in this?" Because otherwise, it seems like it gets lazy sometimes and like makes simple mistakes, but then presents them to you super confidently. So watch out for that. The next ugly thing, it's a yes man. It'll agree with you way more often than any human would. There've already been like a couple of really tragic cases where like it feeds into people's paranoia and they kill themselves. It's like really, really dark and sad and scary. On the lighter side, I know people that AI is telling them their business ideas are awesome and fantastic and perfect. And these people have lost a bunch of money trying to execute those ideas. And then they've come to a human and be like, "Hey, like I thought this was good. What happened?" And I dig into it and they show me the conversation they had with chat, and chat was like, "Yeah, dude, this is the best business idea I've ever heard. You should definitely dump your life savings it into it." It's like, dude, like this isn't just a good idea. This is a groundbreaking, amazing thing that blah blah blah. And it's like, hey, no, it's not. No, it's not. So um I don't know how you coach these tools out of it, out of just opting to agree with you more often than not. But I'd be like very careful if you ever tell AI an idea and it's like excited about it and hyping you up. I would take that as a massive red flag, and I would find some humans to run that idea by. My last point on the ugly side of AI here is like it's all fake right now. It's all massively subsidized. None of us are paying the price that it actually costs. It's the platform it's built on seems to be somewhat unreliable. There's outages all the time. It's glitchy. I have skills that work sometimes and sometimes they don't, and maybe that's a skill issue. I don't know, but I would be a little hesitant to use AI as the foundation of our business right now. That would feel like building a castle in the sand to me. And one day prices are going to go way up. They have to. And that's if a lot of these companies survive, which isn't a guarantee. So the way that I'm trying to use it is like, let's use it to make us better now. Let's use it to save us money and to save us time and to make us money now. But I'm not confident in it enough yet to say like this is the foundation of the company. I'm not even confident enough to say like this is the foundation of the marketing department. Because there could be a time where we go from paying $2,000 a month for it, and then all of a sudden they want 60. I was like, well, I don't know if we're going to pay that. I don't know if it's worth that right now. So yeah, to anyone building with AI or on top of AI right now, there's a bunch of good things that I covered in the first half of this episode, but my like ultimate suggestion is just like be careful. We don't know what the future of this is. We assume this will be a part of the future, but one thing's for certain is that future will be more expensive. And I hope it gets more consistent. But for now, like outages and bugs, are frustrating. So that's it. Take it for what it's worth. Also, I think there's like a 1% chance, and you guys are going to laugh at me for this. I think there's a 1% chance there's something seriously sinister and evil going on with it, which makes me super uncomfortable. So watch out for that. But all right, let's get on to the next segment of the podcast. We are going to field tested. This is the segment where I show you a real split test that I just ran and I talk you through the results of it. And this one was super interesting. This one had to do with a new format of buy box on one of our highest traffic landing pages. And we're seeing that the more concise we can be and the more clearly we communicate the value, we are seeing a way higher subscription rate, which is good for us. It's good for our 3-month LTV. We really, want to optimize for this. And we're able to do that by not even changing the subscription offer, by not, automatically opting people in or doing any shady gray hat or black hat tactics. We're able to do that just based on the way we present the offer, the way we message the offer, and the way that we kind of sell you on the value of the supplement itself. So make sure when you are wondering what to test next, conversion rate and revenue per session are not the only metrics to optimize for. We run tests that are specifically designed to increase AOV, or some are specifically designed to increase conversion rate, but some are designed to increase subscription take rate. And that's what this one was, and this one did really well. So just be aware, there's more to test out there that you probably haven't thought of. The tweet of the week this week is going to my friend Bart, the Sev from Dad Gang. It's a picture of a horse with blinders on. And he says, "I'll tell you once again, stop looking around, do your thing, and focus on that forever. Everything else falls into place. Doing something because you saw another brand do it is a weak strategy." Retweet this. This is such a good message. I actually talked to a marketer about this the other day. Like, it's so easy to look around our little D2C community and see brands that are better than us at paid, creative, brands that are better than us at building LPs, brands that are doing bigger and cooler influencer stuff than we are. And that can be discouraging, and you can start to get in panic mode and want to do all of that at once to try to catch up. But I agree with Bart wholeheartedly. I think it's a losing strategy. I think you'll end up, chasing ghosts and never move forward for your brand. So what I told the guy the other day was, like, any tactic that you are looking to try, it should pass the first checkpoint, the first filter of, like, yes, this does work for other brands in our category, or other brands that are similar to us in price point or customer behavior or something. But that isn't the only reason to do it. Just because a brand that looks like yours has done it, the next question is so important. And the next filter, I think, is like, is your team likely to be good at this? Do you have the resources, the bandwidth, the expertise, the desire to be able to execute this tactic well to achieve a business outcome that's going to be good for you long term? That is, I think, something that people miss all the time. Like, if brands are like, hey, like, a brand over here is crushing it on organic YouTube, we want to do that. It's like, well, all right, hold on. Do you have anyone on your team who's good at long form content? Are you going to try to force, like, an ad video editor to try to make YouTube videos, and it's going to not work, and you're going to be frustrated at them, and you're going to take them away from the good work they were doing over here? Like, it's not always the right call if your team's not built for it. And if you want to go build the team for it, then that's great. Do it. But again, I love the metaphor of blinders here. Focus on your thing. Work really hard at it. Every tactic that's already made you money, do it again. Just do it a little bit better, the next time or around. And that served me and my brands very well in my career. All right, last segment here is Marketers Anonymous, and I think all of these questions today are about AI. Let's see what someone said. Someone said, if you're reviving an e-com brand from the dead, what are 3 AI tools you'd make sure to implement? Okay, loaded question. First of all, depends what you mean by revive a brand from the dead. It depends what killed it. I'd probably want to start there. But as far as like necessary AI tools right now, Claude and Claude Scales have been a huge help for us. That's really good. Kive.ai is a static ad image generator. That's really good. It's like the best I've seen. It's a great way to kind of get cheap creative quickly. So you can check that out. What else? Postscript has a really cool tool that's like one-to-one texting from an AI chatbot. But like it's really good. You can teach it your brand voice and details about your products. I used it at OG for the last couple of years and it ripped for us. This was like just a bot that sold like 30 grand a month worth of watches without us having to do anything. So those are like my top favorite AI tools for like a new, or I don't know, resurrected brand. Let's see the next question here. If AI gives you 5 options of copy, how do you pick or prioritize the top ones? I want to know the decision-making process and how it helped you in writing winning ads. You know, a lot of this still comes down to human skill and intuition and experience and wisdom. Wisdom is definitely something that AI lacks. So for me, like when I ask Claude to write me multiple variations, it's not because like I really want 10 headlines from it. It's because like I just want to see some variety to spark something in me. So usually like I'll ask it to write 10 headlines just because I want to kind of see the scope of like what it comes up with. And then I'll usually go write 3 or 4 on my own from those 10. I'm not copy and pasting them. I've done it a couple of times. They don't crush. So I still rely a lot on my own kind of experience and copywriting skills. And again, really just use the AI tool to synthesize all our research, to help me get a quicker, better understanding of our customer base, and then just kind of give me a starting point. Just give me something on the page I can work from, so I'm not having to, write from scratch. But that's it. Hope you guys liked this episode of Tactical and Practical, all about the robots. I know I got doom and gloom there for a minute, but these tools are obviously helping me every single day, saving me a ton of time. And in some of the content it's letting me produce, it's helping us make money too. So there's a lot of good to be had here. There's some bad and there's some ugly that I think we all need to be aware of. But other than that, happy building, happy vibe coding and marketing. And I'm super excited to do an episode like 6 months from now that revisits this, sees what I got wrong or right. But I think it's important that we all are being thoughtful about what we're building our business on top of. Thanks so much for listening to Tactical and Practical. I will see you next time.